Hello and welcome back to lovely Lucie ASMR. In today's video I'm gonna be doing my makeup, which is why right now I'm not wearing any makeup. And this is gonna be a soft spoken video and also a video with more like light, because I need to be able to see what I'm doing. And it's in soft spoken because first off I wanted to try out soft spoken ASMR. I don't know how good I am at it, you can tell me. And also because there is a lot of background noise, and so I thought maybe I could turn the cane down and just soft speak. So hopefully that doesn't sound bad or anything. Maybe I'll slip in a bit of whispers here and there. So yeah, let's get right into it. I have a mirror right in front of me, and then here I have my makeup brushes. I don't use all of these brushes, but I use most of them. The ones that I don't use, I still sometimes use. They are like the ones that I use less often. Sorry, you can hear a train. And then right here I have my makeup bag. I usually don't use a makeup bag in this, like when I'm at home. I know that some people do that, like they store their makeup in a bag even when they're at home, but personally I don't. My makeup is usually in a drawer in my bathroom, but for today, since I'm filming in my bedroom, I brought everything with me. So as I said, I did my skincare, and I also already like slicked back my eyebrows using the Wet n Wild Mega Stay Extreme Hold Brow Gel, like that. It's just a clear brow gel that I think works very well, and Wet n Wild is a cruelty-free brand, so I'm happy. Also, all of the products that I'm going to be using today are not necessarily cruelty-free, simply because I am still in the process of transitioning to fully cruelty-free, and so I still have some products that are not cruelty-free, but I'm not just gonna like throw them out just because they're not cruelty-free. Like that would be very wasteful, and I don't like wasting. So yeah. Okay, so to start off, I'm gonna put some concealer on. I sometimes use primers if I'm doing makeup for anything like special, but today I'm not. It's just a random day, so I'm gonna use 3 concealers. Actually 2 concealer and 1 color corrector to be exact. So I have this concealer right here, which is the Rimmel Kind and Free Hydrating Concealer in the shade, I think it's the lightest shade. I can't find any shade name on it, but I'm pretty sure it's the lightest shade because I'm quite light. Then I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Longwear Concealer in the shade 110W. I think that's what's written. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I can't make any promises. And then I'm gonna use this Kosas Revealer, the Serum Powered Color Corrector in the shade Magic. So so if I look here, that's because my mirror is here, just to be clear, because like I'm not fully comfortable just using my phone as a mirror. I prefer to have an actual mirror. So yeah. And so the corrector, I just put it here where my dark circles are the darkest. Basically I always have dark circles. It doesn't matter how many hours of sleep I get, I always have dark circles. I don't know why, it's just how it is. they're not like very dark, and they're not all around my eyes, they're mostly right here. And I know that some people wouldn't even notice them, but I notice. So yeah. Then I take this concealer, which is very light, and I use it to like brighten my under eyes. Also in this area, like that. And then this concealer for basically everywhere else, because this one is like closest to like my skin tone. And I know that looking at it like that, you may be like, it's not, it's paler. It's really not that much paler. I'm just a bit hot right now, so I'm a bit red. But yeah, you'll see when I blend it out. And so depending on the day, sometimes I use like a skin tint, and so I use less concealer because I get more coverage on the rest of my face. But today I didn't feel like using a skin tint, so I'm putting it low-key everywhere. Okay, so I now look low-key insane, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna use a brush. This is the P. Louise brush, the F4 P. Louise brush. And this is the brush I use for my concealer. My brushes are not clean right now because I clean them every week, and I cleaned them this past Sunday, and it's currently Tuesday, so yeah. So let's blend all of this. And as you can see, my skin tone. I am by no means a professional in makeup. I just really love it, and I watch a lot of like YouTube videos on makeup since, I don't know, years. 4 years I've watched them. And I love makeup. Oh, I forgot to put concealer on my eyelids. Silly me. Yeah, I just love makeup. I've started wearing makeup when I was like 13, I think, 13, 14, something like that. I was hiding it from my parents at first because I wore it like to school, and my parents didn't want us to wear makeup to school when we were that young, which I understand, but I didn't care, so I did it anyway. Okay, and I'm gonna, oh, it just started raining, sorry if you can hear that, so I'm just gonna leave the makeup that's right here for now. I'm not gonna touch it, I'm gonna let it get a bit, I'm gonna let it dry a bit, and we're gonna move on to bronzer. So I have this Maneater bronzer stick by Tarte in the shade Sundown. This shade is honestly probably a bit dark for me. I bought it back when I didn't fully realize I was pale. Like, I bought it a year ago, I think, and back then I didn't really fully comprehend how pale I was. And also back then I was still like tanning in the summer, whereas this year I decided to not tan. So it's a bit dark, but I make it work. And I like to warm it up on the back of my hand like that, because if I just put it straight on, I find that it doesn't necessarily blend the best. And I'm gonna use this brush, like a very dense and flat brush, and I'm just gonna pick some of it up and put it on. So as I said, I started wearing makeup when I was 13, and I mostly wore like a black eyeliner in my waterline, sometimes a wing, and lipstick, and that was it. Now my makeup style has changed quite a bit. Progressively I started getting more and more into makeup and into the technique of makeup, you know, and I started to understand more how makeup actually works, you know. The rain is so loud, like the gain is quite down, but the rain is so loud. And then I'm just gonna pick some of it up on like the side of my brush and do a bit of like sort of nose contour. I don't really do contour that much. I mostly do like bronzer, and I honestly don't really care that much about like shaping my face, like, yeah, I don't know. So I'm gonna use a beauty blender. I've already ran it under the sink, and like I've squeezed off the excess. It's a Barbie beauty blender, beauty sponge actually, because beauty blender is a brand. It's a Barbie beauty sponge. I like Barbie, and I saw this set of three beauty sponges in like 3 Barbie beauty sponges. So I was like, I need new beauty sponges, I'm just gonna buy these. So I'm just gonna use that to blend the lines on my nose, like so there aren't lines anymore. Next I'm gonna move on to cream blush. And I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty cream blush. This is the shade nearly rose. Sorry, nearly rose. This is what it looks like. It's not very clean, so ignore that. And I'm gonna use a brush of this shape. You know, I don't really know what that shape is called. It's the P. Louise F13 brush, and I'm just gonna pick some of this up and put it on my cheek. Nothing too crazy. I like to bring it up a bit up towards my temple, like so. Sometimes I also put it on my eyes, depending on basically my mood. And then let's do the same thing on the other side. I'm actually quite used to doing my makeup with headphones on, because sometimes I want to do my makeup while listening to music or something, but my sisters are like sleeping or studying, so I don't want to disturb them, so I put my headphones on. And then I'm just going to put a bit on the tip of my nose, because I like to have blush on the tip of my nose. And now we're going to blend this concealer. And the reason why I let it dry is first off, so that it can get more coverage, and second, so that I can blend it toward my blush and make sure that my blush is like seamlessly blended with my concealer. This is, oh, whoa, I just poked myself in the eye. This is something that I learned off of TikTok, so thank you, TikTok. And boom, you can almost not see my dark circles anymore. You can see a bit of like this, I don't know what that's called, like bags maybe or something, but they're just always there, especially since I just woke up. So yeah, and I just woke up. I have no idea what time it is. I think I woke up about like 45 minutes ago. So I didn't like just wake up, but you know. And then we're gonna make sure everything is very smooth with this beauty blender that I'm gonna use everywhere I put concealer, basically. And I feel like this is the best way to make sure that your makeup looks good, is to first use a brush to like make sure that everything is evenly covered and that the coverage is good, and then use a beauty blender to absorb like the excess product and to make it all very smooth. This is what I like to do. It's nothing that I invented. It's very common to do that. So now let's move on to powder products. Sometimes I use loose powder, sometimes I use pressed powder. Today is a pressed powder day. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte powder in the shade 3 Peach Glow. Peach Glow, Peach Glow, Peach Glow. It's quite old, as you can see, but that means I don't like it, so I think it's a good thing. And I'm gonna use a brush for most of my face. So yeah, this is the P. Louise F12 brush. And I just pick it up and put it where I put concealer. There are so many trains too, but whatever. And then for around my eyes, I take out my beauty blender again, and I make sure that I blend all the creases that I may have under my eyes or over. Maybe you can see that line right here. I have to blend it before I set my eyes, because if you don't blend before you set, then you will have those creases for all day basically. So blend the creases. And also please ignore the faces that I make when I do my makeup, because I make very weird faces. So ignore that, please. And same thing on my eyelids. And on the other side. Okay. And now I'm gonna use a powder puff, and I use this for around my eyes. And the reason why I first use the brush is because I don't want to like just put a lot of powder on an area that's like not at least a bit powdered, because then I feel like it looks weird. So I first use a brush to put a bit of powder, and then I use a powder puff for the rest. And I like to bring my powder up right under my eyebrows, because this helps my mascara to not smudge. So I think that's good, because my mascara usually smudges quite a bit here because I get oily as the day goes by. But I've started to like put more powder up here, and it has helped a lot, which makes sense obviously. So that's it for this powder. Let's move on to powder bronzer now. I use this Kiko Milano Flawless Fusion bronzer powder in the shade 05. Again, it's a bit too dark for me, so I only put a tiny bit. Especially, that's not the right pencil, especially because it's quite pigmented. I use a fluffy brush like that. This is the F10 brush. And so I pick up a bit and I tap off the excess, and I put it right where I put my bronzer. Makes sense if you ask me. This is a step where I have to be very careful that I blend it properly, because if I don't, it looks a bit crazy. So that's it for powder bronzer. And now powder blush. If you didn't know, this is the secret to your makeup lasting long. It's layering. You do one layer of like cream or liquid products and then one layer of powder products. And so I'm gonna use this Rare Beauty blush that I bedazzled. Look how pretty it is. I love it. And so this is the powder brush in the shade Happy. And I love me a glowy blush, a glowy powder brush. And I use a fluffy brush like that. This is the, F1? Yeah, F1 brush. And you only need a little bit because it's quite pigmented. I'm a brush girly, and that some people would call my makeup like blush blindness makeup, but first off, I know there's a lot of blush, so it's not a blindness because it's like done on purpose. And also the concept of a blindness is something that I don't agree with, because most of the times it's meaning that your makeup doesn't look natural, but if I put makeup on, it's because I want that makeup to be seen. If I didn't want it to be seen, then I wouldn't put makeup on. That's maybe just a me thing, but yeah. And the fact that makeup should not be seen but should still be worn is something that is very much rooted in patriarchy and the idea that women should be pretty, but you should know that they put effort into being pretty. And I despise that, which is why I wear makeup in a way that you can see, and so just because I love it. I feel like I need a bit more on this side. And boom, a crazy amount of blush, just as I like. And then let's put on some highlighter, and I'm gonna use again Rare Beauty, again bedazzled. This is the Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Mesmerize. I love this type of highlighter shade, like a warm toned, not golden, but warm toned highlighter, because I feel like that's what looks the most natural on top of blush. Sorry, I can't speak. And then I need to find my highlighter brush. Where is my highlighter brush? Got it. I found my highlighter brush. This is the F18 brush. And so I put a there is something on my brush. There was a little hair. So I pick up a bit. You don't need a lot with these highlighters. They are very glowy. So just use a bit. And it's glowy. I don't know how well you can see the glow on my phone. I think you can see the glow. And then on the tip of my nose. And I also put some on like the top of the bridge of my nose. Like so. Like that. I like it. Next I'm gonna move on to the eyes. I have Sephora color shifter eyeshadow palette in the, it's not the shade, in like, because it's like more than one shade, but in the category I'm gonna say Strange Botanicals. Unfortunately, Sephora collection is not cruelty free, but I'm still gonna use it because I have it. This is what the palette looks like, and I'm just gonna use this shade right here. I don't know if it has a name. It's the shade 5, if that helps. And I'm just gonna take fluffy brush. I'm gonna use a fluffy brush like that. This is the F17 brush, and so I'm just gonna pick it up a bit and put in my grey, sorry. I'm not gonna do anything fancy today, because as I said, this is just a day and I don't feel like doing anything fancy, especially because I'm not in my bathroom. Like, I'm used to doing my makeup in my bathroom, so doing it in my bedroom, I'm not fully comfortable, I want to say. And so I just put it like that. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye. Like that. It looks a bit crazy right now, but trust the process. I'm gonna use this Fenty Beauty highlighter. This is the Diamond Bomb highlighter in the shade How Many Carats. This is what it looks like. I love it. So I'm just gonna pick it up and put it on my lid. And I put it basically all over. Because you can never have too much glitters. I don't know how well you can see the glitters, but it's very glittery and I love it. Then I'm going to use another Rare Beauty highlighter. Again, bedazzled. This is the shade Enlighten, which is more of a white shade, like that. And I'm gonna use that in my inner corner. And like that, I'm full of glitters. And the eyes are almost done. We only have 2 more steps. The second to last step is eyeliner. I'm gonna use 2 eyeliners. I'm gonna use a pen highlighter, like that. This is the Sephora one. This was something that a friend gave me because she didn't use it, and I was like, you can always use like felt tip eyeliner. So, and then this is just a liquid eyeliner, but that doesn't have a brush tip, it has a felt tip, which is what I like. I'm running out of this one, but I have another one stored away, because I always have one, like in case I run out, because I use eyeliner quite often, not every single day, but quite often. And so I use this one, which I am shaking like that just so the product goes down, just to make the lines, and then the rest I do it with the other one. I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to do that while talking, so I might just shut up. Okay, so as you can see, I just did 2 lines, and this is just like to guide my eyeliner, and the rest I'm gonna do with this. So this isn't the best looking eyeliner I've done at all, but the setup is not ideal, and also I always find that my eyeliner looks bad until I've put mascara on, and then it makes more sense. And so the last step for my eyes is mascara. But I might just put my setting spray first, because this is a new setting spray, and so I don't know if it's gonna make my mascara smudge. So I think I'm gonna just put my setting spray on first. This is the Tarte Life Lock Hydrating Setting Spray. I've never used it. Well, let's see. One thing you should know about setting spray, if you think it's not working, it's probably because you're not using enough. Okay, so I have curled one side, as you can see. And so let's put on mascara. I used the Lights Camera Lashes mascara by Tarte. And I'm just gonna put it on. Bam. And now I feel like my eyeliner looks a lot less insane now. I think you can see what I mean. So I'm gonna curl my other lashes, and just so you know, what I do is I curl them at like the very root, then I curl them a few more times, going slowly more towards the tip, and then I curl them at the root one more time, basically. Okay, my lashes are curled. on. And my mascara is done. Now I'm gonna move on to my lips. I'm gonna use two products. First off, I have this Kiko Milano lip pencil. It's running shorter and shorter. This is the shade 06, and this is exactly the type of shade that I like. And these lip liners are very like creamy when you put them on, but as soon as they dry, they don't move. Okay, I know that some people like to smudge their lip liner. I don't do that. I can't be bothered. And so then I'm gonna use this Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Vinyl in the shade Shimmering Strawberry. This is actually Shimmering Cranberry. Sorry. This is actually a brand new product. I've never used it. I have this product in the shade Hibiscus and I love it. But I'm almost running out. So now I have a new one, but not in the same shade because I bought it and I didn't even notice that it was running out. So this isn't the type of product that you can just slide on because it's a bit too fragile for that. You have to low-key like tap it on. But I don't mind it. Okay, so my makeup is done. And it started raining again. I feel like, unfortunately, my makeup always looks better in the mirror than in the phone. Like it looks better in real life than on a camera. But what can you do? So that's it for today's video, I guess. I hope this was relaxing and like distracting. I feel like this is the type of video that I personally would watch like while I'm doing something and not to try to just fall asleep, for two reasons. First off, I don't like soft-spoken ASMR to fall asleep. I like it more when I just want to listen to something when I'm doing something else. And also this video is brighter than what I usually do, so I feel like this also isn't the best for sleep. But who knows, maybe you fell asleep. So I hope this video was good for you, was great to watch. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.